yeah, okay, 512. Okay, good. Motherboard and SMPS. We'll see those things. Motherboard. It is a main circuit board. Okay. All the components of your computer, all the computer components connected to the motherboard, either directly on the motherboard or to the back panel wise, it is connected. Okay. So your motherboard having different slots or sockets for connecting your processors, RAMs, graphic cards, hard disk, your NICs, network interface cards, any expansion cards from your SMPS power supply to the motherboard connectivity, your front panel connectivity, front power button connectivity, power LED connectivities. Okay. So we have a different like a hard disk connectors, SATA hard disk connector, your CMOS battery connectors also there on your motherboard. And back panel of the motherboard. In the back panel of motherboard also having different connectors. To connect your keyboard and mouse, you are having, okay, these are the PS by 2 connectors. So PS by 2, okay, is like a personal system version 2. PS by 2 connector for connecting keyboard and mouse. Okay. So later versions, it's in a old systems, we are having this PS by 2 keyboard mouse connectors. So later on this, they are removed and replaced with the USBs. USB, universal serial bus, we can connect a different kind of devices, including keyboard, mouse, Bluetooth adapters, Wi-Fi adapters, of course, your printers, your cameras, anything, you can connect it to through USB. USB replace most of the things, including this PS by 2 keyboard mouse connectors, parallel ports, and serial ports also replaced. Okay. Again, nowadays, these PS by 2 again reintroduced to save more number of USB ports. So again, they are going to reintroduce, already introduced in some systems available. And you see that there is a VGA display connector, blue color one, 15-pin connector for connecting to your monitor or projectors. And there is a 25-pin D connector, straight connector, that is pink color. Parallel port, also called as LPT, line printer terminal connector for connecting. In a olden days, we use this connector for connecting printers. Okay. Nowadays, we are using USBs. Okay. And COM port, serial port, it is. Actually, it is 9-pin D connector. It is COM port, communication port. It is a COM port, communication port. COM port, serial port, RS-232. RS-232. So all three names are same only. Serial port, COM port, communication port, or RS-232. This is, earlier days we have a external modems. External modem, like from your BSNL. So there is a telephone wire is coming to your home, and that's wire will connect it to this external modem. That external modem to this COM port connected. And for your system, you got a internal. So those time we don't use switches routers separately. Wi-Fi routers are not there. So we connect our internet cable to the telephone cable connected to the external modem to your system. Your system got internet. That internet you can share it to other devices through using bridging concept. Okay. Next, these COM ports also used to connect emulator boards. For example, now we are using this Raspberry Pi. What is that? It is Arduino Uno boards, right? And most of the current emulator boards, like programming boards, like microprocessor, microcontroller programming boards, we are using USB cables. And those days, not very old days, even when I am studying that time, like 2008, 9, 10, that time itself, I've seen only COM port-based connectivity only. Okay. So from your system to that board you want to connect, you should connect through this serial port or COM port. Next one, Cisco routers and switches. You want to configure a Cisco routers, switches, their configuration, their like internal, like their port configurations, IP address configuration, VLAN configurations, routing configuration. So you have to connect it. Your system need to connect it with switches and routers. So from our side, from our system side, it is COM port and switches and router. There is some RS240 RJ45 console port connection is there. Okay, so just like there that side, it is look like LAN cable, but it's a console port. So you're connecting that console port using console cable. In our side, it is COM port. Now it is again replaced with USB. USB based console cables are there. COM port based console ports are there. Okay. So there is multiple purposes of this COM port is there. Now everything is USB, universal serial bus. Yeah, we understand already USB, so we can connect a different type of devices through USBs, universal serial bus. Next one is your LAN ports. On motherboard, backside of the motherboard, you can see a LAN port to connect the LAN connection. Okay, LAN port, which is we are using to connect your device to the your LAN network using RJ45 connector. This is RJ45 socket or LAN port, and using UTP cables we are connected. And these three things are audio related. One is for mic, speakers, line in purposes. Okay. And what is this? This is HDMI ports. Currently, most of the systems comes with HDMI ports. Some are both, means VGA port and HDMI. Some are only HDMI. Some are only VGA. Okay. What is this HDMI? Compared to VGA, VGA only video, means the display related transmission only there. That to normal level display only. But this is HDMI, high definition video transmission plus audio transmission also there. To connect your projectors, LED TVs, okay, we use this HDMI connectors. And on certain motherboards, in a recent motherboards, even I got an issue with my own when I'm assembling my own desktop. So what happened? I didn't get a display. So why I'm not getting display? I got to understand from this LED status. So that recent motherboards having this LED status on the motherboard to understand where is the issues. For example, your CPU is not working, then it will display the CPU LED. Your RAM is not sitting properly, or RAM is not working, then DRAM LED is blinking. Your CPU does not have video memory, VGA LED is blinking. Or you are not inserted a graphic card, or your graphic card got an issues, then VGA LED is blinking. Bootable disk is not inserted, no hard disk is inserted, or no bootable drive is inserted. Boot LED will blinks. Like this, guys, there is a motherboard. Different slots or sockets inserting for your processors, RAM, expansion slots, graphic card, and stuff. Okay. SSDs like a M.2 type of SSDs, we can able to insert it. SATA hard disk, SATA SSDs, we can able to connect it. Power supply connection like 24 pin ATX connectors, 4 pin or 8 pin power supply connectors. Front panel connector, power buttons, power LED buttons connector, and SMPS, sorry, what is that? Heat sink fan power supply connectors also available on the motherboard, and motherboard also for connecting devices externally. So we have a back panel, front panel connectors are there. Back panel for mainly USB ports, VGA or HDMI, LAN connection purpose, the LAN ports like RJ45 connectors. Okay, audio jacks for mic, speakers, and line in. Okay, so this is about your motherboard. Mhm. The next device is SMPS. So we'll discuss SMPS, and this one is also there now. Oh, okay. So we'll take a 5 minutes and then we'll discuss remaining part also. As I said, guys, we should complete that. So it will save your lot of time, your time mainly. Okay. So that's the point. SMPS, switch mode power supply. What is switch mode power supply? Okay. This SMPS converts your main AC power supply, which is around 220 to 230 volts, 50 hertz frequency AC power supply, which is sine wave. Like it converts this AC power supply to the DC power supply as a required system required DC power supply. For our systems, we need a different DC voltages for generally for desktop purpose. Okay. Plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts, plus 5 volts, minus 5 volts, plus 3.3 volts. These are the required DC voltages. Our SMPS converts AC to DC power supply. So in a old model is called AT model, advanced technology, which contains 6 plus 6 pin connectors to your motherboard. Okay. So later this AT is become ATX. ATX extended with a 20 pin connector to your motherboard. Next version is 24 pin connector. Right now we are using ATX 24 pin connector for SMPS to motherboard connector plus SMPS to motherboard, separate power supply for CPU purpose, 4 pin or 8 pin connectors. Depends upon your motherboard and your SMPS. You are getting this connection. Okay. What about a laptops? You have a charger that is SMPS charger. Your mobile phone charger, SMPS charger, which converts AC to DC. Laptop charger is only single DC voltage output. That is plus 19 volts generally. Plus 19 volts DC supply generally. Mobile phone charges generally it is plus 5 volts charger, but different wattage ratings. Wattage ratings are different. Okay. Depends upon fast charger and time. The voltage is same, capacity is different. Okay, this is about your SM. Guys, each one, like this is 24 pin connector, connect your SMPS to motherboard. This is CPU 4 plus pin connector. 4 plus 4 means 8 pin connector connected to your motherboard for CPU power supply. This is SATA hard disk or SATA SSDs, SATA CD-ROM or DVDs, power supply connectors. Floppy drive, if in case you have a floppy drive, then floppy drive connector purpose. You can see there's a 4 pin round pin connectors. This is for a older hard disk type, means PATA hard disk or PATA CD-ROMs, power supply connectors it is. Okay. How to choose this SMPS for your desktop or server purpose? Okay. Each component in your computer consume power supply, like CPU consume some power supply, like example 50 watts. RAM consumes some 30 watts. Motherboard components consume some around 100 watts. Okay, your graphic card consumes some 60 watts. So you calculate all the total wattage consumption. Based on that, you can choose an estimate. Or you can have some rough estimation around 400, 500 watts is enough. So then you can take. But most of the time, it depends upon your system. You have to choose your SMPS based on power supply connectors as well as total wattage rating requirement. So here I've written one example. For example, your system requirement is 300 watts total, exact 300 watts. You have taken exact 300 watts SMPS. But after using some days, you inserted some expansion card and maybe you inserted some external hard disk, like a USB external hard disk. So sudden requirement of wattage is there. Your SMPS aren't able to provide more than 300, but you are required more than 300. So what happens? System restart itself again and again. So what you have to do, remove the any external devices you are attached. So then make it normal. That is one. So that's why there is a solution. What is the suggestion is, if you need 300 watts SMPS, buy 400 watts, little higher than your requirement. Take 350 or 400, 450, fine. It does not mean you need a 300, you should take 1 kilowatts of SMPS, not required. Take little extra, a 50 watts or 100 watts, extra than your requirement. It is always helpful. Okay. Because SMP is also one of the main components, costly component itself. Not very costly, but depends. As I said, no, I assembled my own desktop mainly in the Corona time. So the total SMPS plus the cabinet is 6,500 or 7,000 cost, etc., which is equivalent to my processor, which is higher than my motherboard. My motherboard is 5,000, my processor is 7,000. My cabinet come SMPS is 7,000. See, it depends. I choose because I got a lot of doubts in a small sizes one. Like, is it really providing that input or not? And cost also suddenly increased that time. Some components are reduced, some components are increased. So why should I? I will take a strong one. So I choose that one. Okay. Even the motherboard processor become older, but still cabinet is hard cabinet is very good. Okay. So it is always suggested that one, it is take a better higher capacity, little higher cap than required. Again, there is an issue here. What is that? System restart itself again and again. So already we discussed it is a possible CPU is getting overheated. One possibility. Another possibility is that your SMPS not able to provide enough power supply. Means based on your SMPS, your consumption is increased. So then in that cases, you have to go with a upgrade your SMPS capacity, buy new SMPS with a little high capacity. Okay. Cross verify your SMPS with higher capacity, working good means it's a good one. Okay, so this is about your SMPS. Again, take just a 5 minutes gap, relax, have some water. We'll continue this storages. I thought I will put it in tomorrow, but it's a 5:30. So we'll complete it, guys. So then freshly we'll start with this, what we say, food processing tomorrow. So take a break, just 5 minutes, relax. Again, we'll come back with the